Hey everyone, welcome. My name is Christine.
And I'm Denise.
And we are
Soul Nectar.
Nectar with a K.
Becoming the architects of our lives, recognizing the power that we have in that.
Yes, to know ourselves, to know our inner world more than focusing on our outer world. And experience a life that is full of joy. Just really understanding who we are as humans.
So join us. Bring yourself, your open mind, and your willingness to create your dream life and design from your heart space to fully step into the present moment.
Get to know yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
And explore and expand your soul nectar.
Yes.
Welcome to Soul Nectar Sunday.
Yes.
And today we are going to be talking about self-care and taking care of our skin. We're coming into fall, which is bathtub season. My favorite season of the year. Candles.
Yes.
And creating an ambiance that makes us feel really, really good, relaxed. Remembering when you walk in that door to take a little moment to see where the sun's at in the sky. Is it evening yet? If it is, get out your candles, add that to your shopping routine so you're all set. And whatever scent you want to be smelling in the evening, something that's really calming and relaxing. Or do you want a little rosemary mint right when you get home just to rev yourself up for your evening Peloton ride?
Ooh, Peloton.
Ooh,
Love
yeah.
it.
Christine got me using the Peloton and I love it. And it made me really think about how our minds work, and I can get into a real rut with my body when I feel like I don't have control of my eating. And more of it's about just reveling in the food of life and enjoying it. But I love to snack, and I get to a point where I'm not feeling so good in my skin. And it's amazing. Psychologically, I used to live in that space way too long when I was younger. And I would just feel heavy and sluggish and not connected to my body. And when I started to learn to exercise after living a very active life and then coming to a place where it was not an active lifestyle.
Meaning when you lived in Costa Rica and you moved
was
back
bicycling and working outside and going to the beach and swimming, and it's a very, very active lifestyle.
Right.
Lusciously active. And then moving to November winter in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, you moved here in November?
November 5th.
Oh my God.
And it was dark and rainy and cold, and there were 2 years in a row, about 6 years ago, 2 years in a row that were the worst. Anyhow, so I'm learning how to switch that switch and how quickly it can happen, how I quickly can go now from feeling sluggish and I just can't. Each day starts and I say every day, I'm not going to eat like I did yesterday. And then at the end of the day, oh my God, I just, well, I was at Christine's house and there was a feast on the table. And I went home and Tula and I cooked this or that. Yeah. So my realization lately really is just paying attention to how quickly that switch can turn the other direction. As soon as I make a choice to change up, I assess what I need. Like I needed some major cardio.
Right.
Woo! Yeah.
When you get your blood pumping through your system like that and the toxins start to come out of you, it's also an energetic release, right?
Absolutely.
Because you got think about your breath. Your breath comes in on there, so you're oxygenating your system. Your endocrine system is absolutely going crazy because at the end of every ride, you know how you feel those endorphins, right?
Yeah,
so you're really benefiting from this level of physical activity more than just a physical activity. It's a momentum of movement that pushes the energetic trap you are in. It opens the floodgates for you to move that energy.
Absolutely.
So it's more than just you're getting on the bike because you feel sluggish and let's say what most people say, I feel fat. right? That's what people
they
feel fat. That's like the saying, which
it was I don't tell myself that anymore, but I used to. I mean, and that's really what we're feeling like.
It's like the residue of that idea.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I think that's a big deal for most people is like, oh, when you start to feel, I always call it like thicker than a snicker, like when you're like, that's how Giselle, my daughter, and I talk about it, is like, oh, I'm feeling kind of thicker than a snicker.
I love it.
Yeah. And it's like the idea that, you feel sluggish and all of those stuff. But I remember like when I was growing up, my mom would always, in her generation, they were always raised to want to be skinny and I grew up in a different culture almost than her, really, because different cultures around the world honor different body shapes differently.
Yeah.
So if you're raised...
We don't know that as Americans, as growing up, but with your family background and genealogy and
growing up in America, I grew up in a very hip-hop culture as a young person.
Where's your background for just so...
So I'm Lebanese and Irish, but my husband's 100% Persian.
And... what exactly does that mean?
We are
I know what it
Middle
means.
Eastern. We're very Middle Eastern. We're very eclectic and very much a culture around food. And that's how we show love. That's how we show love to our friends. That's how we show love to each other. We cook for each other.
Curvy women are exalted, right?
Yeah, like there's a lot more room for vivacious body types because it's more normal. It's very different. Like, even though I'm American, I'm 100% American, but I was raised kind of around a lot of different types of different cultures or different ethnic backgrounds. So I learned how to love my body because I was thick, and that was all the jam when I was growing up. Like it was sexy to be thick. And maybe when I was in high school, not as much. As I got into my womanhood, I was exalted for being my shape.
Oh, say that again.
Yeah, I was exalted. They reveled in this body.
I love it.
So I always grew up with a really strong sense of self. Even though I wasn't the skinniest girl or the thinnest or the most in shape, I learned how to love my body. I remember telling my mom, because my mom was Irish, she was like 100% white American. And so she'd be like, oh, honey, like just 10 pounds. And that's why I was saying all that stuff about my mom being like, she was the best mom ever. She never meant it to put me down, nor did I take it that way. And I would look at her and I would be like, Mom, I am not losing an ounce of any of this. This is what makes me feel good about myself.
She was telling you what her idea of perfection would be for your body.
Right. Like it was just interesting because we were just from two totally different cultures, really, within the dynamic of the generations. Here's the kicker. All three of us, yours, mine, and my mom's, self-reflective states are built on the male perspective. And we as women need to discuss that because there is this thing about women, even we get older, we get so stuck in those ideas and so then you're getting older and you're dealing with your skin being different.
Ooh, and yes. I had a little moment with that the other day. I recently turned 54, which is such a odd and bizarre number,
right. Yeah, it's like...
But definitely my skin is in a different phase of life than it was 10 years ago, let's just say. But I was standing in front of the mirror like I've been doing more and more often these last years, watching my face get wrinkles and looking, going, oh my God, look at that. Oh my God, look, oh, geez. Just tearing my face apart.
Right.
And I really have come to a place in my life with my body image and healing that, feeling sexy and sensual and and that was a beautiful expression for me to have in my life and to really overcome all that. Not all of it. It's we still have our doubts now and then, little things, but to really step into my sensuality and loving my body. I love my body. I freaking love my body.
Say it again.
It took me a long time. A long time. I love my body and but here I was looking in the mirror, and we recently moved into a new house, so the lighting is different, and this one mirror in my room. Oh, it's brutal.
Unforgiving.
It's unforgiving, yeah. And I found myself critiquing my face in a way that I was kind of getting more and more often. You know, I'd wash my face or brush my teeth and like, oh God, yeah. It also coincided with summer and a time when I generally don't take as good of care of my skin. Now coming into fall, I'm loving getting back into my routine and exfoliating. We have our skincare line, so I'm using the Microdermabrasion
that's like
cream.
My favorite.
It's the best. It's a spa face polish. Complete treatment. And following up with the Rose Mist, which just mists your whole aura and beautiful Moroccan rose oil.
It leaves like your skin looking dewy. So you use the polish and then you use the rose mist, and it really leaves your skin so dewy, fresh, gorgeous, just enough moisture on there to make you feel shiny and glowing and luminous. And then it's the refreshingness of that amazing rose, aroma and scent that we use, the oil is absolutely highest quality that you can get. It really is exquisite, and it's really calms your system, your soul.
Moment of peace. You take a pause when you spray it.
Do it right now.
No, it boosts your mood immediately. As far as aromatherapy and your body, your brain chemicals go, the minute that vapor goes up your nose into your brain goes into a complete state of releasing serotonin, dopamine, the same hormones that are released when you eat chocolate, when you're having an orgasm, falling in love, the best things in life that we want to cultivate. Yeah,
definitely.
Rose oil, chocolate,
sex,
taking care of your
good sex.
Oh yeah. Amen. Yes.
Good stuff. Living luminous, that's one of our main topics here with Soul Nectar. And it really is about stepping into the beauty of being your divine feminine, being the expression of yourself that you've always been, but maybe haven't always had an opportunity to experience out loud, right? Learning how to have time with yourself alone, learning what it means to discover what we call your soul nectar, your inner world of deeply knowing and understanding yourself in a way that allows you to express yourself in ways that bring joy not only to you but to others.
And learning to really truly love yourself and treat yourself like you would your partner or your child, your children, or your people in your life. Friend. Yeah, how do you treat yourself? Start really paying attention and level up. Take time. Really good care of yourself and see what happens.
Yeah.
Whatever that means. Take more walks. Get outside more.
And the key is really doing it when you don't want to do it. When you think, I'll start tomorrow. That is mine. It's the number one reason I go into doing. This is one of my golden gems.
Oh, yeah.
And when I think to myself, I'm too tired or I don't want to do something or I'll do it tomorrow, that is my number one thing that causes me to do it right then. Because I know right then in that moment, my body is trying to get me into the old patterns of just laying down, which is a perfect example. I probably didn't work out. I didn't work out the whole time in Cancun. I mean, we swam and we did a lot of stuff and we danced and we had a blast, but I didn't do any actual scheduled workouts like I normally do to take care of myself. And so when I got home, there had been a stretch of time, right? Like maybe 2.5 weeks. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I'm just going to sleep in one more day. I just need one more day to sleep in. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, that was like my trigger button. That is your body in control, because I've gone through this major healing journey, which we will discuss on this podcast in future episodes. Because I know how the mind and the body are connected and how they work. That is my number one cue. That's the word I'm looking for, cue.
Yeah.
That's the cue I use to dive deep into whatever it is. If I don't want to do it, if I don't want to go on a walk, and even with the kids. So that's when I drop everything and I go exactly into what I don't want to do. And when I come back, I always feel 100% better.
And you can focus on a deeper level.
Yes.
You produce more, it's blossoming out of you. Yeah.
If I'm pushing my daughter away, I know that's my cue to have more time with her.
Yep.
Because that is what heals your soul, is when you learn how to balance life. And you don't always, we're building this business, Soul Nectar, like soulnectar.com, skincare, we got yoga, we're going a million miles a minute. But the number one goal for being what we call soul nectar, right? Knowing our own soul nectar is knowing how to stay in balance with our own lives, with the relationships we have, with the relationships we have with our body, with the relationships we have with food, with the relationships we have in every other area of our life. Those things matter, and they matter a lot more than what people talk about. And I think that's what's so exciting about this podcast, is we get to move into this space of really, really diving deep into what it means to be a human. Can you really dive deep into that? And it really comes with knowing and understanding that you have all of these different areas of your life or themes of your life that have they cost the same amount. So if you don't pay attention to the food you put in your body, it's going to show up somewhere else in your life. You're going to have entropy when really you want
synergy.
Yes.
Synergy.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. That's the word I'm looking for. Synergy. Yes. All the themes in your life, relationships, food, exercise, mental health, spirituality.
It raises your vibe in all the areas, because your vibe raises whatever you're doing that
when you're
makes you
equal,
feel so good, and you know that you are giving.
You have to give your awareness and your energy into each of those areas of your life. You cannot just put all of yourself into your business, or all of yourself into your physical, or all of yourself into food, or all of yourself into you can't put everything you have into one. That's when life becomes imbalanced.
Exactly.
And I think that's what our podcast is really about, is helping people find balance in their life, so that they
as we ourselves explore and experiment living a life in balance, and as we grow in our yoga practice and meditation and business and parenthood and
womanhood,
sensuality, like what does it mean to get older and be vibrant and live with vitality and be healthy,
especially amongst a community and a society that values youth, to the expression of youth on the outside, but really it's about the youth. We all have a friend. They're the best person to hang out with. They're this, that, the other, because they have youth within their personality, within how they carry themselves. They have a good time. They enjoy themselves. They're smiling. They bring joy to your life.
Vitality. I love that word.
I love that word too.
When I think about myself getting older, the word that comes to me all the time, I want vitality. I want to be alive. To me, that means being alive on every level.
Yes.
Just being
vivacious
and healthy and happy and present sexy
and able to handle your stuff, because you've done the work, you've done the deep dive, you show up as the most highest vibration that you carry within your auric field, within your personality, that allows you to bring joy and vibration into other people's. Like, I love when people say to me, I love hanging out with you, even if I don't see you in a million years. Whenever I hang out with you, I leave feeling better. Yeah. That is the best compliment. If I am friends with you, you can bet you're going to get the same energy from me.
If not even better. Isn't that...
If not even better.
Isn't that funny how, I have so many friends that we can be years sometimes, 10 years, 20 years, and you hook back up and
right where you left off.
But it's not like that with everyone in this world, because a lot of people stop growing, and so you hook back up with them, and
their personalities are so different that it's really hard, and it's okay to outgrow friends,
Absolutely.
But you can also just I find myself sometimes stepping backwards into relationships, especially family dynamics. We all fall into like very specific categories within our own families. And I think it's so funny. I haven't been that person. Sometimes if I haven't seen some people in my family or something in a long, long time, and I'll go right back into that same personality that I was the last time I saw them. And although it gives comfort, sometimes I leave going, oh, was that my truest self at this point in my life? You know? And sometimes it is like you pick up with people right where you left off, and they just vibe with you because the energy is so good between you anyways that it doesn't really matter because you guys vibe high anyways. But then there's other people that maybe want to keep you in the personality that they know you as.
Especially with families.
Yes.
And particularly in really tight-knit families.
Yes. Yeah, there's a fine line.
Boundaries versus also living in 2022.
Right.
We have different lives than we ever have before in whatever culture you are, right?
Right. Or just being from when we were children to now.
Moving from the jungle to here.
Right. Oh, wow. What a huge transition.
It was huge.
Did you even have a cell phone back then?
I did. But it took me years, though, after living years in the jungle to finally get a cell phone. And it was a complete change of life. Living in the jungle alone as a woman by choice completely.
Of course.
And I had fabulous houses and a good location so that I wasn't ever way up in the bush or the mountain or whatever. But once we got cell phones, like you had this, we once even caught a robber with our cell phones.
Ooh,
I came home and someone was in my room with the lock on my table, on my kitchen table, because it was all out open outdoors. I rode my bike home and pulled right up where I always did to the side of the deck, looked up there, saw my bedroom lock on the table, and the door was ajar. And I was like, hey. And they slammed the door shut, and I saw the guy was opening the windows. I don't know if we're going to air this, but
we are.
He's opening the wooden shutter windows, jumps out of it, and runs around the opposite side of the house. I ran out the other side. And I don't know why, but kind of the dumbest thing to say to a man who's running from your place. I see you. I see you. I totally see you. Which was not the first time that I had actually I once caught a man stealing my neighbor's New York little Fifi cutie dog once as well, but
oh my
anyhow,
gosh.
That's another story. But anyhow, I saw the guy get on his bike, get out to the main road. There's only one road. I called ahead to my friend that was working at the spa that day.
Yeah.
Chian, woo! Anyhow, I said, walk out to the road, see who the guy is in orange shorts. And anyway, she did. A rare thing happened. The police actually followed the guy. I don't know how she got a hold of them fast enough, but that never happens there. Never. But it did. Followed him, found our stuff. I got my camera back, and
oh my gosh.
And he actually apologized to me like 5 years later.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. I knew him, of course. Of course I knew him.
You knew like somebody's brother or something.
Everything in that town at that time was like
small town.
3 degrees of
separation.
Yeah. But anyhow.
What a great story. To just kind of how different our experiences in life are and how they shape our adulthood and how we see ourselves even when we're just, looking in the mirror and saying, oh, I don't like this or I don't like that about myself. Your experience has completely shaped, I'm not just talking to you, Denise, I'm saying to everybody out there that our experiences that we've experienced growing up play a much larger role in how we see the world than we ever once thought. So we encourage you at Soul Nectar to take a deep dive into what it means to really understand who you are. What is the perspectives you take? What are the judgments you hold? What is the monkey mind you have running the show?
How did you learn to be by teachers who were taught by people who were making their way the best they can through life as well, but didn't have all the answers? Then they taught people who taught you, and you carry on. And at what point do we really stop and filter through those feelings and find out who we really are, what is truly us?
What is the river of influence in our life that helps us kind of stop? My mom used to say, if I ever get to be too much, always tell me to slow down, stop, and smell the roses.
Aww.
And I will then know that you need me, you need my full attention. And then spray your rose mist.
I am spraying.
We are misting. Continuing that beautifulness. We're rose misting ourselves in lieu of that
instant dewy skin.
Beautiful segue.
And, all right. Well, thank you.
Thank you for tuning in. We hope that you slow down and smell the roses in your own life. Take care.
Over and out.
Peace.